Hey guys, so I just received a copy of my book in the mail. Now, to be clear, I'm supposed to receive 10 free copies from the publisher, which I have received to my new address in Tallahassee. I am in the process of moving. Um, right now, my good friend Josh Brott is taking care of my 10 copies for me until I arrive. But for now, I'm stuck here in Virginia, um, and I just couldn't wait, so I just went ahead and ordered a copy. I wanted to make sure that the ordering process was working correctly anyway, so I bought a copy and it just arrived. So for the first time ever, I'm about to hold my book. Uh, the main question that I keep getting all the time now is, Erod, you wrote a book? Yes, I wrote a book. And no, I don't find that question insulting. I don't have the marketing reach of entities like Disney and Warner Brothers. So I get it that people uh, there's still a lot of people who don't know that I have published a book. And the next question that I get is, what is your book about? To put it simply, it is about a witch who is also a detective. You can find the book right now at Amazon.com. And when you do, if you want to find out more about the book's premise, it is written on the back of the book. And you can look at the front and back of the book on Amazon.com when you look it up. The title of the book is Cassandra Killjoy, Paranormal Private Eye, The Search for the Swordsman. And no, I couldn't come up with a shorter title. Or a longer one for that matter. I will put, of course, there will be a link in the description box below. Anyway, so before I open this package and unveil my book for the first time ever to me, just a couple of cool things that I want to share with you guys. This right here is the original manuscript for Killjoy, for the book, which I completed about 5 years ago. I write very, very fast, and a lot of you keep asking me, Erod, if you finished this so long ago, how come it took you 6 years to get it published? Because number one, it takes time to make stuff. That's just the way it is. Um, and also, I knew nothing about writing books, getting books published. It was a learning process. Um, and honestly, when I submitted uh, the manuscript that I just showed you, I wasn't entirely ready, or excuse me, I wasn't entirely sure whether or not it was ready. And then I was told it was fine. So there you go. Um, and furthermore, the next thing that I want to share with you guys is that I actually, while it took me 6 years to get it published, it's actually been a far longer journey with me and this character because I came up with Killjoy when I was in high school. And here's a fun, crazy fact. Originally, the character was male, and it wasn't until I was in college that I realized that the character really wasn't that interesting. At least the male version wasn't that interesting. He was a pretty stereotypical tough guy character, and it just wasn't that original. And then I was inspired to change the character to female and change the character's personality by a film student. So a really good friend of mine named Julie Hotz is one of the quirkiest, funniest, most original people I've ever met in my life, and she was the basis, the foundation for Killjoy's personality, and then Killjoy evolved and she's become more original. But the reason I'm revealing all this to you is because I want to show you a drawing that I made in 2007 when I was in college, right before I decided to change the character. That's what Killjoy, and there's an alternate reality where this is what Killjoy is. Um, so there you go, and it's the scene it's the first scene in the book. For those of you who don't know, so I came up with that long ago in 2007. That specific scene, um, and the original version, of course, was very generic. Fight scene, nothing special about it. It didn't become the fun, interesting, weird version that is in the book now. So anyway, there you go. From an idea that I had in high school, from a drawing that I made in 2007, from a manuscript that I wrote 5 years ago, to the book that I'm about to unbox right now. So without further ado, let's get to this. Safety first, utility blade. Let's get just a little bit of the blade out. Don't need too much to get it open. Here we go. This is a lot tougher than it looks. And there we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Let me check a couple of things about the author. Eric E. Rodriguez is a content creator and convention host, best known for creating the Blockbuster Buster. That is in print. Okay, my silly little internet show that is not that successful and not that important and not worth anything got me this. And I can't get more official than that. Hold on, I'm just checking these. Okay, there are no dedications, unfortunately. Checking the page 142. A lot of people have asked me about page 142. There it is. Okay. One last thing. Hold on, just checking if somebody has been credited. Nope. Okay, so a couple of things are missing, but it's okay. I deeply appreciate all the hard work that the folks at Pegasus have done to make this happen. I deeply appreciate them. Miscommunications happen, and it's fine. However, I was asked to submit dedications, and I did, and unfortunately they didn't make it into the book. And I was also told that my good friend and team member, Eugenia Joyuen, would be credited for her work on the cover of the book, and that also didn't happen. So we're going to take care of that right now. So I had looked at the digital files of what the book was going to look like before it went into official publishing. So I kind of had a feeling like these things were going to be missing, but it was too late, and it went out. The permission went out for them to move forward with releasing the book. But it's okay. Miscommunication happens. Nobody's fault. Hopefully, if we do a second printing, hopefully a hardback, all these things can be remedied, and all the dedications will be in it, and Eugenia will get her credit. But right now, I'm going to give her credit right now, right after I do my dedication. So first and foremost, I want to dedicate this book to my parents, who never, ever, ever stifled my creativity, ever. I especially want to single out my father, Ricardo Rodriguez, who has always been, throughout my entire life, has always been the first person to tell me to get out of my head, onto my feet, and never forget who the hell I am. And anytime that I ever thought about quitting my creative pursuits, he would always be the first one to remind me of stuff like this. Like, I have notebooks and notebooks and notebooks full of ideas and scripts and drawings. You know, 2007, I wrote it down right here, 2007. And that I didn't throw away. And because I didn't throw these ideas away, I had the ammunition, I had the material to put this book together, to tell this story, to create these characters. And it all starts with having somebody who believes in you, somebody who doesn't allow you to lose perspective and lose hope. And that person, thankfully for me, has always been my father. Next up, I want to thank my sister Corrales, who in these past 2 years, the 2 most difficult years of my life, has given me more and has shared more and has helped me more than anybody that I've ever known. And I cannot put into words how grateful I am. So I'm just gonna have to put it into actions and spend the rest of my life showing her gratitude for being there for me during the absolute worst time of my life. I also want to thank my team members. Again, this is the first credit she's going to get in this video. She's going to get another one. But I want to thank my team members because, you know, great people often get too much credit for what they do, and people forget that nobody does anything alone. Nobody. If you think that I'm great, I am humbled and I am flattered. However, I can't do anything alone. I have a team that backs me up and helps me out and helps me achieve all these creative things that you guys have been seeing throughout the years. So, and the 2 people that are part of my team that are always there for me, as far as all the creative content and stories and characters and things that you've seen throughout the year, are Eugenia Joy Yuen and Billy Joe Grant. A lot of you know them better as E-Joy and Dr. Effect. So those are 2 individuals right there that without them, oh my God, I wouldn't be able to operate as a public figure. I also want a very quick thanks to Ashley Metcalf and Holly Brown, who took the time to proofread this before I sent it in, before I submitted it. It was so difficult to find editors. It was so difficult to find people to proofread them. And so I'm very grateful that they took time out of their lives to help me out. And yeah, just ever so grateful. I also want to take a moment to thank some very specific people from Pegasus, the people that dealt with me directly, the intermediaries, the folks who kept contact with me and kept me informed and made sure that this was happening the way that I wanted it to happen. And those people are Chandri, who was my first contact at Pegasus. Unfortunately, Chandri doesn't work with Pegasus anymore. Then after Chandri, Julian was the person late last year who um, got me the final approval for the manuscript and got me the paperwork, which I signed, and assured me that the book would be coming out this year. And Julian was right. And I also want to thank Lauren, who's my current contact, who's been keeping me informed and keeping me up to date with what's going on. And also, there was another person that answered one of my emails, but I never got another email from this person, and that was Georgia. So, Chandri, Julian, Lauren, and Georgia, thank you very much, and to the entire team at Pegasus for taking care of me and taking a chance with me and making this book happen. Um, Back to the dedications. So, a really, really important individual that I want to thank, who is not directly in my life, but has been a major influence in my life. And I intended to put his name in this book and thank him, but unfortunately, it's not there. Again, hopefully, if we have a second printing, I can get those in. But Nick Iannone, the creator of Paladin, he's a huge, huge, huge inspiration for me. Paladin, for those of you who don't know, is a Puerto Rican superhero who used to appear in comic strips in the Puerto Rican newspaper El Nuevo Dia. This is trade paperback collecting all of the Paladin comic strips from 1992, as you can see right there. Can clearly read right there. But what's especially exciting about this book is that Nick dedicated the book to me. So my plan always was to, as soon as I got my book published, to return the favor and dedicate it to him. Unfortunately, his name is not in there, but again, that's fine. Hopefully, when we get a second printing, if we get a second printing, I'll get all these names in there, especially his. And I cannot come up with a worthy description of how it made me feel to see my name in print for the first time ever. He is also somebody that contacted me about my videos, because I mentioned Paladin in one of his in one of my videos. I mentioned his character, and he contacted me. I mean, he talked to me about it, and I of course thanked him for creating Puerto Rican superhero, for creating a Hispanic superhero and putting that character out there. And how much that meant to me, how much that made me feel like I could do anything. And I told him, man, it's a shame that there's not as many Hispanic characters like that out there. And then his response was, because you have to create them. I did. Thank you, Nick. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And last but not least, the most important dedication of them all, my late wife, Marcia. So here's a fact for all of you. Marcia was never a fan of me making videos for YouTube, being a content creator. She always felt like it was beneath me, like it was something that wasn't worthy of my talent. It was a waste of my talents. That's the way she always worded it. And she always hoped and hoped and hoped that one day I would quit and focus on other things. She also saw the videos as a distraction from bigger pursuits. But the one thing, among many, but one of the major things that she was very, 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 very supportive of was this book. And as some of you may know, this was originally one of the many movie scripts that I had written, and that was just sitting on the shelf collecting dust. And one day I got fed up. I was very depressed. I had hit one of the many walls that I've hit throughout the years trying to do creative things and get them out in the world, get them out to you guys. And I just boldly proclaimed that I was going to take that script and I was going to just turn it into a book and see if I could get it published. And she very seriously told me, yes, that sounds good. Do that. Go ahead. I know you can do that. And again, I've never written a book before. I didn't know how to get a book published. I didn't know anything on that subject. I had studied filmmaking up to that point. And she had like right out of the gate, the moment the words escaped out of my mouth, she had an unshakable belief in me that I could do it. I could get it done. She was the first one to read my manuscript, and the moment that she read it, I will never forget it. She like shook her head and she said, "You are right. This should be a movie." And she was the first Killjoy fan. The first one. And she was the first one to give me notes. She was the first one to proofread it. She was the first one to talk to me and ask me questions about the future of the characters in the story. She started this journey with me, and I wish she was here to see the fruits of that, of her encouragement, of her help, of her love. I did it. I did something. So let's give Eugenia some credit because she worked on this cover. So first of all, respect and the deepest of love and appreciation to the artists and graphic designers at Pegasus. They are amazing, and I deeply appreciate the work that they did on this. However, the original design of the cover came from me. I came up with the design. I specifically wanted the hand in the background to create vectors to draw the eye towards Killjoy. But then Eugenia took my rudimentary drawing and made it presentable. She made it into a really good mock-up of what the cover should be, and she did a lot of the initial work. Then the artist at Pegasus took that design that she made and they turned it into this. But even though they use their own art style and all that for the character and the background and all that, this logo, let it be known on record that this logo was 100% created by Eugenia Joyjoan. It did not come from Pegasus. So I just want to make that clear, and I was told via email that she would receive credit, and I checked twice already, and I do not see any mention as to who did the cover or any credits for the individuals who created the artwork up front. So just in case that is never remedied, which again, I get it, there's oversight. I've worked on big projects before, I get it. But just in case that never happens, I want there to be a record of the fact that Eugenia Jojoen was one of the key designers of this cover. One of the greatest graphic designers on the face of the earth right now. Amazing artist. Um, if you want quality, hire her. Um, I can't recommend her enough, and I am very lucky that she is my friend and always willing to help me with my projects. Anyway, so a couple of questions that I've been getting from you guys. A lot of people keep asking me how the book is doing. Well, I'm recording this on a Wednesday. Tomorrow will be Thursday, which will mean that the book has been out for a grand total of 2 weeks. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know enough about the book industry to gauge how the book is doing. I won't know what the sales of the book are until late June, maybe early July. And even then, I still don't know enough about the book industry to really know how well it's doing. What I do know is that it is selling. And I know this because almost every hour or every other hour since the book came out, I keep getting um, emails, tweets, and texts from people telling me that they have received their book. And a lot of them come with actual pictures of them holding the book, which is awesome, which is my all-time favorite new trend. So I know it's selling. I know a lot of people have them. So that's great. Um, so I know it's selling. I just don't know how well it's selling. So again, I'll find out in 4 months, maybe 5. Um, and then I'll make sure to tell you guys. So the next question that I keep getting since the book has come out is about page 142. What's on page 142? Hold on. Page 142, the final page uh, of the actual text that I wrote in the book. Yeah. Cassandra Killjoy will return in the Caskets of Chaos. For those of you who still don't know, this is supposed to be the first in an ongoing book series. Well, not ongoing. I plan to at least do 10 Cassandra Killjoy books for now. That's what I plan to do. That could change. But anyway, for now, I plan to do 10 books. However, there's no agreement for that. You know, it's for now. I'm on a book to book. I'm working with Pegasus on a book to book basis, and there's no guarantee that book 2 will happen. Where am I as far as the process of book 2 of the Caskets of Chaos? Well, it's written and ready to go. I just need, a good editor. And I already turned it into Pegasus. I'm just waiting to hear back from them with an agreement. I am yet to sign a contract on the second book. But again, guys, it's ready to go. And you know me, I'm very prolific with my work. So if it was up to me, I would already have a date in mind or in place for when to release it. I would assure you like when exactly that was going to happen, but unfortunately I don't have the power to do that. This is a different process than any other process that I've ever worked on. It is still a bit ambiguous to me. So as soon as I know more, I will tell you more. But for now, all I can tell you is that I already did my part. I turned in the manuscript for book 2, and I'm just waiting to hear back from them. And then after I sign an agreement, if they agree to publish book 2, and I sign an agreement, that's still going to be a while after I sign that until you see the book. Because like I said, it's a long process. It was a year and 8 days from the moment that I signed the agreement from this book to when it became available. And I was warned that it was going to take a while. I was given an estimate of time for how long it would take. So that's just the way it goes. So if you want to do something to help, if you read this and you liked it and you enjoyed it, which by the way, thank you, and you want book two, my best suggestion to you is to go to the Pegasus Twitter account at Pegasus Publish and let them know that you really enjoy this book and you really, really want the second one, The Caskets of Chaos. Hashtag more Killjoy. So there you go. Just let them know that you really, really enjoyed it and you really, really want the second one to happen because you want to find out what happens next. There you go. If you demand it, I'm sure they will deliver on your demands. As simple as that. Another question I keep getting is like, Erod, how come there aren't any reviews, any formal reviews of your book? I have no idea. Again, that's Pegasus domain. I think that will start within a month or two, if that starts to happen. However, this is the digital age, guys. The power is at your fingertips right now. There is nothing stopping you from creating your own reviews. If you want there to be reviews of this book out there, if you want to get the word out about this book, be it positive or negative, that's up to you. If you want there to be reviews, there's nothing stopping you from creating those reviews yourself by whether it's a written review or a video essay or in whatever other creative way you want to get the word out, if you feel passionate enough to get the word out about my work. Listen, in adherence to Marsh's wishes, I never intended to do the video reviewer, content creator, internet personality thing forever. I've always had a stopping point in mind. And in my mind, when I stopped, I always thought that one of you, if not a bunch of you, would pick up the torch and keep it going and continue and put your own reviews and your own creativity out there. So as far as I'm concerned, the power is yours. You know, the Blockbuster Buster skull ring is yours. You just got to take the initiative. And if you want some advice, the best advice I can give you is I heard from professional wrestler Cody Rhodes, which is to bet on yourself. Make your own luck. Nobody was interested in my movie script. So I turned it into a book. I sent it to a publisher, and they were most definitely interested. I bet on myself. I created my own luck. So there's absolutely nothing in the world stopping you from doing the same. You want to do what I've been doing for the past decade? The tools are at your disposal. If you're watching this video, the tools are at your disposal. As I said before, we're still working on a commercial using Flash animation. It's not quite ready yet, but hopefully you will see that very, very soon. And last but not least, the last individuals that I want to thank before I close this out is all of you. The fact that I had a built-in fan base, the fact that I have a following, the fact that I have supporters was what gave me that final push to turn this manuscript into this book. It's not a joke. It is not an exaggeration. It is not false flattery when I tell you that this wouldn't have happened without you. I hear you. I hear your comments. I hear your compliments, your encouragement. I hear them. And I want to give you compliments and encouragement in return, because this wouldn't have happened without you, and you deserve the same level of respect as you give me. Um, so, guys, there are no words how grateful I feel for your love and your support. My heart is full. A lot of you are already asking about Killjoy merchandise and adaptations and all these other possibilities and all that. And I'm deeply flattered by that, but we're still too early. But just know that when you ask those questions, it fills me with a joy and a happiness that I haven't experienced in a long, long time, in at least 2 years. So for that, I am eternally grateful. So thank you. Take care of yourselves. And I hope to make you guys proud. I hope that this book is only the first step in a much longer and much greater and more wonderful journey. And I would be honored if all of you joined me for that journey.